And even you could actually just talk to somebody and just talking and you didn't meet them before. The best contact is human contact. People have lost that. You would like to, the average person would like to be in a town where I'm recognized as a human being. I don't have to be a movie star to be recognized. And of course, small town is one thing. Some people think it's a drawback, but it's not a drawback, so everybody know your business. So you try to live a little better life, because everybody know your business. You know, what your kid is doing, what, you know, you didn't get that job you wanted, and you got that job you wanted, and your wife or you messing around with somebody. It's a small town, you can't hide it. It's gonna get out sooner or later. Okay, but that's human living. You know what I mean? Whereas you just, can you imagine that people don't even talk to their neighbors? This is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's actually ridiculous. They get in the car every day and go on, and go on and off. You know. Anyway, so this is part of our. So we have a two-pronged approach. We don't call it an attack. Masjid school, business, geographical integrity. But this national project is to help the people, and the people can they make up their own mission statement, you know, and what they want for their town. Vision statement. A vision is what you want to become. A mission is how you're going to do it. So you have a picture. We want to be like this. This is what we want. Well, you got enough people in the town, y'all start doing that. You see what I mean? And you can make the town guidelines and rules according to the way you want to, right? This will be every little township. Imagine you come from these big cities where you don't have no input. The schools are falling. The schools, you done drove through some of these towns on the way here and around, right? Half the schools is closed because there's no kids to go to the schools, right?
They just said that that's what's going to happen around this time, that small universities are going to close, which is going to have an effect on the towns you're talking about, because the town depends on the university.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. All of that stuff. Now, suppose the town has a committee, they draw up a charter and then they present that to the public. This is what we want to become. This is what we have now, and this is what we want to be like. So that everybody that thinks along those lines, you're welcome. Okay, that's all it is. It's advertising. And then trying to be that. Now, if the little town try to be slick, that's going to come out pretty quick, and they ain't going to have nobody. Even if somebody got there, and the people in the town said it's a good idea. We're going to buy up all the property, and then, okay. If they want to buy up some of the property, there's no problem. But they ought to put a limit on themselves. You can't make no more than 10% of what you bought the property for. Because if you double or triple, these city slickers, they come in, they see this house, oh, it's only to them, it's only $50,000. It's one of them big giant old houses. They buy it for $25 and they double up their money. If they
did in Detroit.
Huh?
Like they did in Detroit.
Man, Detroit.
Like they did in Detroit.
Man, Detroit, the big old house. Even Philadelphia, you know, all those big houses out in another part of Philadelphia. I came there and a lot of our brothers was living in these big houses and all of that. And you could tell a few years ago they was rich houses. Because anyway, I'll get to also a little fundraising and right in our own future. What we're going to talk about is not only that beautiful utopian vision and what have you, but one of the things we're going to teach is how to manipulate the government 101. How to manipulate the government 101. We've already done that. We've been doing that really good for a long time. It's just, what does your study show? What does your research show? By 1970, we did our own research in Oakland. And when we did our research, we realized how we got to where we was. We realized why we started selling what we were selling. I probably mentioned that coming out of certain places, we were one of the first so-called black Muslims on that side of town, you know, in Oakland. We came out, we didn't smoke, we didn't drink, we didn't get high, didn't eat no pork. In fact, I didn't eat no meat at all, just like our sister before. That was the talk of the town. Man, you know, I came out here moving, and I was blowed up a lot, you know, swole up, and, you know. And I kept that for a long time, till last week. You know, and so, he don't do this, he don't do, that's what they described, when they started describing me. When I went to jail, we drank wine and used to get drunk. You know what all teenagers do, all in California. That's what we used to do. So we used to drink white port and lemon juice. I don't know if y'all know that, way back. WPLJ really tastes good to me. You know, white port and lemon juice. You pour out a little bit of the wine, or you drink a little bit of the wine, then you pour a can, those little cans of lemon juice. Yeah. We did it, but that's what we did. WPLJ, white port lemon juice. So anyway, that's what we did. We would, you know, 16, 17, we just drank and got drunk and rode around in low cars, bouncing around. I guess that's what everybody did. But anyway, and I come home 2.5 years later. First thing I get is a job, you know, making, you know, average money, you know. And then after that, I got a car, got everything, and all the time, my partner's going up in the hills to run. They have boxes, you know. So I go with them, so I'm, you know, in those days, people didn't run. The reason we ran in running boots, army boots, is because the only people that ran in those days was people who was in the army. And when they come out of the army, maybe they might still run a little while. And if they did, was boxes, they did, road work was done with army boots and that gray sweatshirt outfit, you know, the old time pants, sweatshirt. And that's the way we worked out. Anyway, so the government in 1966 looked at that as dangerous. Because after work, we went over and lived gates, and you know, the government would look at us like a game. Kids just having fun. We were young and we was having fun. We wasn't thinking about doing nothing. Whatever they was thinking about, we wasn't thinking about that. But they was looking at that's dangerous. See, the Black Panther Party was established in Oakland in 1966. And the government, what we realized later, they had all kind of people in the black neighborhood that were tied to the police. Some guy hanging out on the corner for the last 10 years is the police. Well, we know that now. There's probably 1,000 just in this neighborhood. You know, that's the way they do. So no, my friends came to me and they borrowed $200, paid me $200 back, then gave me some marijuana. And I sold it and it was off to the races. But within a year, I was way out there. You know, since I saved money, I was a good manager. I got rich really fast. You know, just selling marijuana. I mean, I was the wealthiest guy in the region, in that area. And that's about 67. So, I started having a little trouble. But one of the reasons that I started East Oakland Enterprises is because I wanted people to be like me. I mean, you know, everybody had a job. You know, people wish they had that. What we had then, everybody had a job, paid the average salary, you know what I mean? they wish they had that now. We had it then, and we all come from the country, so we was living pretty good out there. But anyway, the point is this. No, look here. The government see everything as a threat. So I pulled back for a minute. Well, one of the reasons I pulled back for a minute, I was looking out of my window and I saw 3 white men walking up to my door. You know, where you got your apartment, got a window right over the parking lot. And actually, it was a federal agent, a state agent, and a city vice, you know, the vice. And they came up to my house. Long story short, I got a little case, and then I got another case. So in '67, I pulled back to look at what this stuff is. I'm still getting rich and everything, So when I was in temporary retirement, an old friend of mine that had police characteristics came up to me, hey man, and he brought me a connection. At that time it's hard to find. What was a connection? The white boys that had all the marijuana, big, real kilos of marijuana, big 2.25 bricks. They used to come in the bricks and all that. For $55 a piece. $55. I had been going to LA buying bricks that was cut and shaped. Well, my connection with Negro, I got rich off of that. So you can imagine if I got white boy and I'm paying $100 a brick. Can you imagine? For $55 a brick, a real white boy's brick, real kilos, that's what he's, for $55. Good God Almighty. All I could buy, and I bought everything they had. That's one thing I did. I bought it all, everything they could get to town. I'd bring it, they'd have bring it in big containers. And sometimes the white boy would take my car, and I had a convertible. He couldn't get it in. He'd let the top back, then put it back, sometime I try to put it all in the trunk, and I couldn't get it in the trunk. I let the trunk, the top down, then fill up all the back. I mean, that's just the way, it was kind of easy going, like it wasn't like you got to sneak into it, you know. I used to come back from LA with my marijuana and shopping bags at first. $11 to go down to LA, $11 to come back on PSA, Pacific Southwest Airlines. They got the same airline. I think they call it Southwest Airlines or something. That used to be PSA, Pacific Southwest. They just did California and Arizona. That's it. But anyway, when I thought about it, I realized that my connection, not the LA connection, but these big connections I was getting all of a sudden, coming from the white man. Because the white man, evidently, he wanted me to do that. Now, I didn't think about that then. I was just happy, ooh, right on time. It don't come when you want it, but it'll be right on time. Look at here. Hey, man. I mean, it was just nice, an explosion. You know, this was marijuana at that time. Then a little cocaine, and that ain't bad, just, you know, for them days. Not crack, but just, man, look at here. So, but by the time we started East Oakland Enterprises, 68 rolling around, well, that's what Martin Luther King wanted to do in Chicago. If y'all remember, he didn't pull it off. They show you on TV, he didn't pull it off. We pulled it off in Oakland. So the police thought, after a while, we wanted to divert this nigga from black nationalism, and we supporting it. He done hired everybody in town and opened up, everybody, it's like a big party. I mean, look at it, you wouldn't believe it. You know, about investment. I was like the Godfather, except I wasn't mean. Can you imagine? And you should pay me back, but if you don't, I'm not gonna do nothing about it, you know what I mean? Can you imagine a big-time drug dealer that never even beat nobody up? Never even beat nobody or chased nobody around the corner. This is really, that's something, that's the way it was. That's exactly the way it was. By that time, the Black Panther Party is getting active. We have our main joint right in the back. Well, in the back, this is Jerry's Pawn Shop. It's in the back of Jerry's Pawn Shop. But the Black Panther office to give out the newspapers and all that is right next to Jerry's Pawn Shop. So we could look out our back window into the next door to the weather. Anyway, and all that stuff in the movies about the Black Panthers not getting high enough, that doesn't exist. I never, hey, we would almost hang out in the office. And then the brothers, if you look at any of our old pictures, 20% of them came out of the party, probably 25. At least 2 people in our leadership structure. One of them went to Sacramento. We used to call him Shotgun because in all the pictures you could see it. And they got, I didn't even know, I knew that, why we called him Shotgun, I knew why. But then I was looking at some encyclopedia. I said, that's Johnny Gunn. You know what I mean? In other words, I knew that he came out of the party, and they still dress the same, everybody looks. So anyway, by 1970 and 71, the police is getting tired of me in Oakland, and every time they do something to somebody, the people tell them, you couldn't do that to Big Hank. So the police said, what? So they put, the people put heat pretty soon. Man, I was getting arrested so many times, it's unbelievable. You'd have to be, well, I didn't just start there, I was getting arrested all along. But I mean, so I know about being arrested a lot. Pretty soon, I thought about it, and I did regular research, like now. We're going to do research on small towns. I did research then, but now it's better now. It's more, you know what I mean. But it wasn't bad. I said, Negroes go to court, they have to go there, that. So, long story short, I packed up and left the country. I said, now everybody else would have stayed. You can't take my empire from me. But I said, they do it to everybody else. Why they won't do it? And you be mad, but you do your math, and you got to, just like they say, you have to follow the, what they call it on TV, they talk, the science, right? The same thing we had then. You have to follow the math, the math, hey, man. It ain't. So if 97 people, if 100 people walk through the door, 97 of them gonna get hit upside the head with a baseball bat. Now, the average guy, when he's big and powerful, he thinks, I'm gonna be one of them three. I didn't think like that. I said, that numbers don't look that good to me, right? In other words, if 97% of the people gonna get beat upside the head and only 3% gonna get away, I seem to think that it's a bigger possibility of me getting busted upside the head, right? In fact, there's 33 times a chance, you know what I mean, 97, 33, 333. I said, shoot, that's 33. I got 33 chances of getting busted upside the head. 32, right? 32 and a half, 33 and a third. 32 and a third chance. I just math. I said, I ain't going. I ain't going. And I left. Man, that was good. But the good thing was, I planned for the leaving. I planned for the leaving, and I thought about it, and I thought where I was